what I wanted to start with,
Fantastic.
if we could,
Yeah.
this coaching seminar you went to.
Yes. So I went to a coaches convention for
Yeah.
7-figure and 8-figure coaches, and it's the first time I've been to one of those in 3 years, maybe 4 years. So it was, and it was mind blowing for me because we obviously run a lot of events, as you know, like 1-day training workshops. We do like boardroom meetings for our 7-figure club builders, and then we have boot camps, like 2-day boot camps. But it was fascinating because often I have guys that come to my event, by morning tea on the first day, they're like, I could leave. There's so much I've already learned and I've got on my to-do list. I could go now and I'd be fine. And that was me at this convention. By 11 a.m. on day one, it was a 3-day event.
Wow.
I could have left, man. It was just mind-blowing. And there were people there that were unbelievably inspirational. There was a guy who was an immigrant from the US. There were about 30% of the people, by the way, were from the US. And This guy lived in a room with 12 family members when they immigrated from Vietnam. And he ended up getting into Harvard University. He got into Harvard. He chose not to go. He went to Yale instead. But the guy's running an 8-figure business now. And he's all about helping other people and making a contribution. And there were just endless stories like that. That absolutely blew my mind. But one of the presenters, there were lots of takeaways, but one of the presenters spoke about a boss that he had when he worked at Mercedes-Benz. And this boss was fixated on this movie Patton about the Second World War. And he made this guy watch the movie. And apparently in the movie, I haven't seen it, but the US troops are moving through some area with, equipment and they're trying to get somewhere to obviously help out other troops or whatever it was, but they got stuck. The whole group of them got held up somewhere, and Patton jumped out of the vehicle and was like, "What's going on?" He went ahead, and there was a bridge, and on the bridge were 2 donkeys, and they just wouldn't budge.
Yep.
And he walked straight up to them, pulled his gun out, just bang, bang, shot them, pushed them off the bridge. Let's keep going. And the whole moral of the story is, what's the donkey on the bridge for your business?
Yeah, right.
And wow, it was quite a hard hitting story, but it made me realize as well, there's certain things that you recognize when you go through a reflection and review, when you go to an event and then you have an opportunity to sit down, and it's good to get away to a different location as well. We were in Noosa. And then to look back and see, wow, there's a bottleneck there, or there's an area that needs to be addressed. You need to flush it out, a bit like plumbing that gets blocked.
Yep.
And I was telling the same story to one of my builders yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, I've got this person that works in the office, an admin person, and they've been making mistakes.
Yep.
They paid everyone on the team too much last week. They paid a supplier $35,000 more than they should have." And these are mistakes that have just been coming up. And when he told me that first, and that prompted the story, I told him, "Hey, this donkey on the bridge story." And he looked at me, and I thought maybe I went too far. I was a bit harsh. And he was like, "I'm getting rid of them today."
Yeah,
that's a great analogy.
It 100% is. Do you think, a lot of builders tend to maybe not take that hard step? I know myself, especially in the early years when we had these bottlenecks in our business. You'd sort of try to work through them and through them and through them instead of sometimes just coming to a point, just going, "I've got to shoot it. I've got to get rid of it, move on." Do you find that happens a lot with the builders you're coaching or the up and comers?
All the time, man. Mindset. That was the other thing that came out of this convention. I've always maintained mindset 70%. Like you hear that bandied around, 70% of success in sport and any area of life really is his mindset, which is leadership. And I find it to be true for sure. But donkey on the bridge, it relates to sales as well. Sales is the biggest inefficiency in the industry, right?
Yep.
I was speaking to a guy just before, and he was talking about how he's struggling with people's expectation on costings, and how pricing's gone up. It's gone up 30% in the last 2 years. and he's spending time and energy talking to them and trying to help them understand that. But I know a lot of builders take it on and feel guilty and start second guessing themselves and go, well, maybe my price is too high. Maybe I should lower my margin a bit. No, like
Dangerous.
pricing has gone up. Inflation is a real thing. Our money has been diluted. I was in the US recently. We spoke about it last time. Everything's gone up. Like that's the reality. And this guy was like, hey, you're a bit brutal. And I'm like, well, the truth will set you free. Like the truth can be hard hitting and brutal at times. But I said to him, these people are not a good fit. Like if you've got a student who doesn't have money wanting to buy a BMW, they like the car, but they can't afford it, then they need to look at an alternative. That it's not a fit for them.
Yep.
And if those people come back next year, guess what? The price is going to go up again. So there's another example of sort of donkey on the bridge. You don't have to be so like blunt and rude about it. Like you can use good bedside manner to say to someone, look, pricing's gone up, and I recommend sending out an article.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of articles. I saw one recently written by KPMG that talks about the increase in building costs of the past couple of years, and it's 30%. Yep. I think the title of the article was, building costs up 30% in less than 2 years. And KPMG is one of the top 4 accounting firms in the world, and it's a credible third-party piece of evidence that it's not you, it's not us, it's just the reality of the current market conditions. And you can send that out to people. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, mate. I was going to say you could also use that as part of your qualifying process, couldn't you? I mean, when you're getting your client's information, always send them back information. You could add that to maybe videos you send out or an email that you send out. Just start setting that expectation with them.
Absolutely, especially if it's an issue. If it's something you've seen, which I think some guys are, but in saying that, like the smart money is moving now. Like people who have money, they understand where things are at. Yes, interest rates on hold, they're going to come down. Maybe they are. It's highly probable that they are, but we don't know that they are until they actually do. So a lot of people sitting on the fence, but then a lot of people are not successful. Most people are not successful. The smart money is prepared to take a gamble on 80-90% chance that it is going to happen and move now. Get on the front foot. Get in front of the curve.
Yeah.
So that's where you want to be pursuing work. Create your own economy with intelligent sales and marketing systems, and go fish where the fish are, so to speak. But I thought that the donkey on the bridge story was great. It was a really good one, and it has so many applications for your business. And you 100% see it a lot, man.
Yeah. It sort of leads to that scarcity mindset. You keep trying to hold on when you know that you just need to let that go sometimes, whatever it may be in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's been happening in your world? Any breaking news?
Mate, as far as build up, look, it sort of leads into the mindset of our members as well. What we've noticed is, that scarcity mindset doesn't reflect well with our members. The members that join Build Up have that abundance mindset. They know that by sharing and by helping each other out, they're going to create a lot more opportunity for themselves and everybody else as they move forward. So, when you mentioned that donkey on the bridge, I was just in one of the meetings the other day with one of our members, and a similar thing came up. Is those bottlenecks? Sometimes you just need to get rid of those people that are holding your business back, and how difficult that is from within.
Yeah, and it could be. You talk about getting rid of people. It could be a client, a toxic client. It could be a subcontractor. It could be someone in-house. It could be a personal relationship. Your network is your net worth. So who you spend time with is so important. That's why it's so crucial that you spend time with the right people.
I know, when the business was still young, it was very, very difficult to let go, especially your clients. And you'd always put yourself in a position where, you need that client, and then it ends up being the worst client you could ever have.
Yeah.
The red flags were there, but your mindset of scarcity doesn't allow you to flick them. I know personally, we were involved with the flood resilience scheme up here in Queensland.
Mhm.
where the government is paying you $100 to $150,000 to raise homes, and
Mm.
we were assured it was all going to be a smooth operation.
Mhm.
So we actually did a whole heap of marketing and ended up with, I think it was about 78 clients. So yeah,
Mhm.
potentially around about 10 to $12 million worth of works in the funnel.
Awesome.
And we got to the stage, yeah, it was nice, but we got to the stage where I realized that it was not going to be as smooth sailing as what it should have been, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with government, what can you say?
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to the point where, yeah, we'd invested a fair bit of time, but
Mm.
it came to a crunch and we went, look, do we keep beating our heads against this wall to try and recoup and make that, 10 to 12? Yeah, we had a meeting in house and we decided the best thing to do was cut it. Sent
Mm.
out 78 emails saying, we're no longer part of the scheme. We're out. We can't be your builder. You have to
Yeah.
find someone else. And what we found was, doesn't matter how diplomatic you put that email, you're always going to get one or two good disgruntled customers that were really relying on you. That's the
Mm.
hard part.
Man, it's counterintuitive. Like
It
good on
is.
you for doing that, and that's a mindset thing right there. And your business will never outgrow your leadership, right? And leadership is mindset, and you need to keep growing and evolving,
Yep.
and that's how your business will grow. You're not going to just keep growing through, scaling your business and better marketing and systems. You can do that, but if your leadership doesn't grow with it, at some point, there's going to be some serious issues. So you've got to do it all together, and all of these things are linked. But having the mindset and the ability to go, look, we're going to pursue best practice. We want to build a dream team. Our clients are part of the team. We have a very clear understanding of who our A grade clients are, and if we come across people that don't fit that mold or criteria for A grade client, then we're going to politely, refer them on. And saying no to that money is counterintuitive. It's very difficult to do that, especially if it's the biggest or best job that's ever come your way in the perfect location with the perfect architect. And now you're going to say no to that because the client's exhibiting some red flags of toxicity.
Yep.
Being able to do that shows character, shows leadership. And I know that's not easy. What's even more difficult is getting rid of someone on your team who's been there for 15 years, who's become like a friend,
Oh,
who you
100%.
know
Yeah.
very well. I know people who the person is the godfather of their kids, but they need
Oh,
to shoot the donkey on the bridge and they need to get rid of it. So that is leadership. That requires a certain mindset. What I find in today's world, though, is most people are scared of getting out of the comfort zone, making those difficult decisions,
yep.
and facing into adversity.
Hmm.
And it's so important to be able to do that because that growth mindset, the leadership growth requires that you constantly get out of your comfort zone. It requires that you
Yeah.
lean in and do difficult things. And then with that, you build character.
Yep.
And then with that, people will follow you and you become a better leader. But very few people I meet do that intentionally. So they don't have that intent of let me keep growing, expanding, getting out of my comfort zone.
Finding comfort in discomfort. So that leads me to, what are some of the things that you do yourself to help that mindset along? Because it's not like you can just go, oh, look, you just got to, you know, think yourself healthy or think yourself, into a better mindset. There are steps that we can take to put yourself in an abundance mindset and move away from that scarcity mindset. What are the sort of things that you'd like to do yourself?
Myself personally, there's a lot to talk about there, but
Yeah.
it's process. I'm a big process guy. I believe there's always a process solution, including for mindset. So what's the process? A morning routine. So having a morning routine
Critical.
where I set my mindset. And I can tell you now, it doesn't matter how positive you think you are. What I've come to realize is that negativity that comes in every single day of your life for every single person I know, even the Tony Robbins of the world, they have that negativity. And what it is your reptilian brain. It's a defense
Yeah.
mechanism. Your body and your mind is trying to help you. It's trying to protect you against dangers out there. So it's being intentionally negative and looking for the things that could potentially harm you. So you've got to override that programming, which goes back tens of thousands of years in our DNA, right? So you need a process to do that with intent. Now, my process, to answer your question, is to follow some sort of mindfulness practice. So Sam Harris is one of the guys. He's got a great app called the Waking Up app. It's a 10-minute meditation,
Yeah,
and
cool.
it literally helps shut down thoughts. Have you heard of it?
I haven't, no, but I'll be looking into it.
That's phenomenal. I've done over 400 meditations on
Yeah,
there.
right. Wow.
There's a couple of guys I've pointed to the app, and one in particular completely changed his life.
Yeah.
Just a 10-minute meditation, because it literally shuts down the chatter in your mind, and he teaches you how to do that in the first session like that. Bang. And the app's free. If you don't want to pay for it, it's free. Otherwise, it's $100 a year,
Yeah, okay.
something like that. But that's a big one. I also have like affirmations.
Yep.
I have I call it a becoming self recording that I listen to every morning, which is the person I want to become as a leader. I got that from
cool.
a coach in the US, in Texas. And there's a great video actually of Matthew McConaughey doing his Oscar award acceptance speech, where he talks about the person he's always looked up to his whole life is himself
In
10
the
years
future.
from now. So
Yeah.
when he was 20, he looked up to his 30-year-old self. When he was 30, he looked up to his 40-year-old self, 40, 50, and so on. And that's what that becoming self description is. Initially, I just wrote it down, typed it out in a Word doc, printed it out, read it every morning. And then I heard about just recording it, like reading the words onto a voice memo and then listening to it. I prefer listening to things, listen to a lot of audiobooks. So that's a good thing. It's a bit weird initially, just listening to yourself.
Listen to your own voice.
But now I actually like it. I've grown to like it. And I'm on version 8, so I keep updating it. I've been doing it for a few years now. So there's that. And then there's also little things like there's days when you're going to have more negativity. You're going to have your thoughts and emotions spiral at times. They can just flywheel, call it flywheeling. And then the process solution there is to, like, I'll tell it to fuck off. Like if it's a negative thing that's coming at me, I'll literally do that. Not everyone wants to use that approach. I heard a good one from Dan Martell, the guy that wrote the book, Buy Back Your Time. Great book, by the way.
Okay.
When he has a negative thought come up, he just says, thank you, not necessary. Thank you, not necessary.
I like it.
So I've been using that a lot. But
so still your gratefulness because you've acknowledged it's there.
Yes,
palmed it away.
and that was because it's coming from a good place. It's not coming from a place of it's trying to put you down or freak you out, or even when it is being self-critical and a critic.
Yep.
Right. It's still a part of you. So just thank it, and then but not necessary. But you mentioned gratitude. That's the other one. Is a gratitude exercise. Literally listing out. I get a sheet of paper, and then I write with. I'm left-handed, but I write with my opposite hand. I write out 10 things I'm grateful for, and it's like my girls, major sporting event coming up that I'm going to go to, holidays, people, my clients I'm working with, having these conversations. The fact that I can do things like this is what I do. Like I live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I've got a lifestyle-based business, right? Whatever it is, and I'll try and mix it up. I get 10, and then I'll just sort of close my eyes and then just let that gratitude wash over me. And I do this sometimes if there's an issue. Think of 3 people that are irritating me the most. There's someone, and it could be, toxic client, some situation, personal, whatever. There's always someone that maybe you're having a bit of a beef with. And then I would think of like my youngest daughter. Like when I think of her or my French bulldog, I get that warm and fuzzy feeling when you think of something like that. I get that feeling thinking of her, Olivia, or my French bulldog, Roxy. And then I bring those people in and I just send them that feeling of gratitude. Because gratitude overrides, anger, fear, anxiety, everything, and any other emotion. So doing that, and that's maybe a 10-minute exercise. I don't do it every single day, but that is powerful. And it's a combination of those things every day, plus exercise. When all else fails, if you're having a really bad day, if you're going through heavy shit, a divorce, bankruptcy, anything that is overwhelmingly like life is punching you in the face, or someone close to you's passed away, right?
Yep.
Which is going to happen at some point. Those things are going to, or close to those things are going to happen. Go for a run, bang out 20 push-ups, change your body chemistry, and your body has no choice but to obey.
Yeah.
Now, you go for a hard, solid cardio workout, hit the gym, hill runs, whatever it is, you're going to feel better. But I find preventative action is really important. So when things are going great, and like, touch wood, someone asked me the other day, how's everything going? I was like, shit, like everything's pretty good, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx myself, but yeah. So that's when you want to. I'm very mindful of doing these practices when things are going great and it's smooth.
Yeah.
Because at some point, it's not if, it's when, you're going to get punched in the face. We all do.
Yeah.
No one has exclusivity on that. Yeah.
That's Tyson's famous claim to fame too. You know, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So it's going to happen. So yeah, I've got my morning routine too. So how important is that morning routine to setting up your day for yourself?
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. You know how important it is
Yeah.
when you miss it. So you have a day inevitably where you don't do your morning routine, right? You wake up late and you hung over, or you didn't sleep well, or whatever it is. And then it's chaos.
Yeah.
Everything is just, it's mayhem. So, getting up, just starting the day right. You don't really know what's going to come at you during the day, but you know with certainty that you can at least start it well, and then you can bookend it. You can finish it well.
Yeah.
With something else, yeah.
I think coming back to that counterintuitive, I mean, I know for me, starting a morning routine, years ago when I started, it was just trying to cram everything in that I could for the sake of getting it done. Now I've made it into, it's a non-negotiable. I don't start work till 8 o'clock, but I'm up by 5. So that 3 hours in the morning is my time to get my non-negotiables completed. And that was really counterintuitive, coming from a trade background where you're on site at 6:30, you felt like you had to get in the office by 6:30. You had to start work by 6:30, to match the boys. I've got it to a stage now where the guys, they're starting at 6:30 and they can, but they don't call me. They don't message me or anything till after 8. That time between 5 and 8 is my time to do my breath work, do my ice baths, go to the gym, set myself up for the day, set those intentions so that everything else just becomes easy.
So have you got an ice bath of your own, or is there one at the gym, or?
No, there's one at the gym, but setting up a freezer here. Yeah, so that's the next thing. I've just got to clear out the garage. So one of my coaches has got a 400-litre chest freezer.
Oof.
Yeah, silicons it all up. It's 3 degrees, nice and fresh. But and I take the cold showers every day, so I haven't had a hot shower for 2 years. Admittedly, it's a little bit easier up here in Queensland than it is in Sydney or Victoria. But still, it comes back to that mindset. If you can put yourself in, or if you're looking for discomfort and you find comfort in find comfort in discomfort, everything else becomes easy. All the other stresses that you face during the day, they're pretty small.
And that's powerful. And I think that the comfort in discomfort comes from knowing that facing into discomfort is going to make you a better person. You get stronger and better. So you're gaining from it, from doing it. So then it's like going to the gym and you in the midst of that workout or that run, it's good for you. You're doing a good thing, even though your lungs are burning, even though your muscles are burning. It feels good to be doing it. So there's that comfort of knowing that you're doing something really positive for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And how important is exercise to mindset? I know for me, if I miss my gym sessions and they're increasing, I just turn into a slug. It's just in my head.
Yeah.
I never realised it before, but your gym sessions or whatever it may be actually affect you mentally. Yeah, your mental
Healthy
health.
body, healthy mind, big
Yeah.
time. Yeah. But it's fascinating. Like, as you know, I've been doing this for 20 years now, right?
Yep.
Most of the guys that come to me now are like pursuing excellence.
Mm.
They hear about the 7-figure club. They want to earn $1 million. Doing non-client work or developments is a big thing. Guys are very keen to do that. I don't know anyone who's not very interested in doing
Yeah.
that. So that's a big part of what we do. But the crucial ingredient for achieving those outcomes, because they are just outcomes, making a lot of money, being able to build up a substantial property portfolio that's equity appreciating with positive cash flow and all that. It requires this mindset that we're talking about. And a lot of the guys that are pursuing excellence and what we call peak performance, they pursue it in all areas of their life. So mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in their relationships, personally and otherwise. And it's just a common theme that runs through, and they lean into adversity because
Yep.
you learn more through adversity. You learn more through your challenges and mistakes, and adversity builds character. So that comes back to what you're saying about there's comfort in discomfort. And once it clicks, once people truly understand and internalize the fact that your business will never outgrow your leadership, so you better work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and that requires you get a comfort zone and lean into adversity. And then it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is where it's at. Let's go all in. And then you can enjoy it. You get juiced and fueled by dealing with challenges, dealing with difficult situations. And that doesn't mean you're going to keep repeating the same challenge again and again, because we know what that definition is. But it's more just seeking out areas for growth, and then the results follow. Right? So it's counterintuitive, like a lot of things that work.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's funny you say that, because it is, a lot of the things that do work and propel your business are counterintuitive to what you're used to. The members, when you mentioned that, a lot of the guys in the 7-figure club are, seeking excellence in all areas of their life. There's a lot of synergy in the members that join the build-up groups as well. All of those guys are looking for excellence in all areas of their life. So getting together with other builders, for example, 9 other builders at a table, is very counterintuitive. Normally, you want to keep all the secrets to yourself, whereas you have these builders sitting down, they're sharing their bottlenecks and the adversity that they're facing at the moment, and what they find is they're each learning from each other, and it helps to propel them forward.
It's huge. But going back to what you're talking about before about a routine and dealing with negativity, I think there's another important factor besides just having strategies or tactics for how to deal with any negativity or your emotional state. Purpose and meaning, I find, is a big one. It's going to sound cliche, but if you've got purpose and meaning woven into what you do, then it makes it a hell of a lot easier, man. And then the actual journey, I don't want to sound cliche, it just sounds like cliche after cliche, but the process of going through the pursuit of excellence to get to, whether it's a 7-figure club or having a big enough property portfolio that you don't need to work anymore if you don't want to, the journey, the pursuit of those things becomes enjoyable. If there's purpose and meaning woven into it, and you can assign whatever purpose or meaning you want to what you're doing. But if it means something to you, you're making a contribution to the industry, to society, to your family, and you feel good about it, and every day you're doing your best. And the question is, are you doing your best, or are you just plodding along? Then that's an extraordinary life, I reckon. And then you just executing on these process solutions as you go. But it's
we call it similar thing. We call it the summit. What's your summit that you're chasing? But one thing I've noticed with a lot of guys, especially our age, is you get to a stage where you no longer know what that summit is, what you're chasing. You get to a stage where you're just going through the process and you've lost sight of what the end goal was.
And it's so easy to happen because initially it's just paying the bills.
Yeah.
Right. It's just keeping your head above water and just surviving. right? 80% of businesses don't make it through the first 5 years. The 20
5
that
years.
do don't make it through the next five. In construction, it's worse. So, guys often wake up and they've made it. They've got through 10 years or 15 or whatever it is, and they're making money. And then it's like, well, what's this for?
Yeah.
What am I doing this for? So that's why it's so important to reflect and review your vision and mission, your purpose, why you're doing it, and then all the details as well in between.
I like that. Yeah. I think I know when I was coming through the ranks, I was not reflecting and reviewing at all. I wouldn't say nearly enough, but these days I tend to spend a lot more time reflecting. And my other coach, he's telling me, look, you should just about reflect every night. Sit down with a journal, reflect every night. What did you do well? Set yourself up for the next day.
Yeah, I capture process wins, and something I got from Dan Sullivan, great coach in Canada, is top 3 wins for the day. Just capture top 3 every day. I've been doing it for about 2.5 years now. And that sets your reticular activating system, your information, filtering system for your brain on positivity. It's training your brain like a dog to look for the things that you enjoy, that you want, that are good for you.
Feeds into that gratitude.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, why do you write with your right hand when you're journaling your gratitude journal?
Using a different part of the brain, because your left side of your brain controls the right side of your body, and the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body. So it's just activating a different part of the brain, which supposedly makes it stick. It's doing it differently.
Yeah. All right.
The interesting thing is, like, I've done it for a while. Sorry, a couple of years now, longer, 4 years. The one day I was doing it, and I started writing, like, just easily and fluently with my right hand. Like, it just clicked. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
It's like I set up the neural pathways and became sort of ambidextrous.
Yeah. And how was it difficult for you when you first started doing the gratitude journal? Was it difficult coming up with things to be grateful for when you first started?
It's pretty much the same. I can't say like it was more difficult when I started than it is now. Like, there's certain days, like if anyone does sort of mindfulness practice or meditation, there's certain days where your mind's busier than others. So some days it just flows out. I can think of try capture 10. I can think of 15, 20 off the top of my head. These other days I get to 3 and it's stuck.
Yeah.
And then I'm like needing to, think of things. But it could be, just anything. It could be I try and break from the most common things like family or, just the obvious ones. And then even just try to think of little nuanced things. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you had a great cup of coffee that morning or something. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Yeah. It's sometimes all you got to do is just find those little things to be grateful for. It doesn't have to be massive.
Yeah.
But it sets your, like I said, your neural pathways. It starts changing that mindset belief system.
Exactly. Yeah. And that, and being grateful for things you learn. And that was the thing that jumped out at me, man, at that event that I went to. It was fascinating because it was interacting with other people and just seeing lots of different examples of how people run their business, which is so important. And the valuable part of being around other successful people is it's like a smorgasbord of all these different lifestyle choices and business lifestyle structures and how they've done things. And I saw things that, like, I was not envious at all. A lot of it reinforced that what I'm doing is the right thing for me, because above all, be true to yourself. Like, what do you want, right? Like, what's going to be best for you and your life and your family, right? So that was interesting. But there were guys doing 110 million a year turnover, spending 30 million, listen to this, 30 million a year on paid ads, which is nearly 600,000 a week. Yeah, and that's their hustle, and it's all about the metrics and conversion rate optimization, and that's what they do, and they just chase it down.
How many people were there?
70. There's 70 of us. Yeah.
So it wasn't a massive room, but still quite intimate.
No, similar to our events that we run.
Yep.
It was it was fascinating. And then coaches are a different animal, a different beast, because we all teach. Obviously, we teachers, and then the way you teach is to learn. Or the best way to learn is to teach.
Yep.
So they all, yeah. But there's also egos. Obviously, there's a lot of egos. So not a lot. I didn't see a lot of vulnerability, and it was fascinating because there's obviously a coach's coach, and then I was having dinner with one of the coaches who said there were guys where on the surface, and this happens a lot in business, they looked amazingly successful, but they found out, and they found out too late. The coach's coach found out too late that the guys were actually struggling.
Yep.
And it was when it was really bad that they put their hand up and said, hey, we've got this challenge. But they left it too late for them to be able to help them. So there's that being vulnerable and the ability to open up can be a challenge, I think.
Yeah. You reckon that sets, a bit of a challenge for a lot of business owners who, what you mentioned there, that vulnerability, no one tends to show their vulnerable sides. They always show, how well they're doing, especially on socials. So you look at your Instas, your Facebooks and all that, and any business that they're showing how well they're going and things like that, even though behind the scenes they may be struggling. Do you think that sets unrealistic expectations for other businesses when you see that and go, oh, shit, these guys are all doing it so good?
Absolutely, man. Of course it does. Like Insta's, like I think it's a big problem in society today, is that it's like a false narrative. I mean, I don't go on Instagram or Facebook personally, but I can tell you now, like if I only, and this is be true to everyone, if you only capture the best moments, right, I look at the last 12 months, like if I only just captured every holiday, fun weekend, all the things that I've done, it would be ridiculous. It would be absurd. And it's not balancing the reality of the adversity and the challenges and the down days and when things aren't going great. So, I think that is an issue where, and it's reflected in the data that shows there's a lot of, there's more, depression, anxiety, teenage suicides, especially girls. There's all that sort of thing. So it's definitely a real thing, but it's also why when especially builders come to a one-day training workshop, that they often, the number one bit of feedback that I hear them say is, we've all got the same problems, and there's comfort in that, in knowing that, hey, it's not just me. These other guys are also experiencing difficulty with trades, with clients, with understanding the financials, with getting it set up properly, with with whatever it is.
Yeah, we get the same thing walking out of our monthly meetings with Build Up. You see the builders walking out going, I'm not alone. These other guys are facing the same issues. And like you said, you do have comfort in knowing that, hey, look, you're facing the same challenges.
Yeah. Talking about challenges, man, one of the challenges I faced, which is fascinating, from this workshop that I went to, was, and this ties in with mindset and having a growth mindset, right? So to learn and grow and evolve, you need to let go of shit. I remember a guy came to one of my workshops, successful, and at the start of the workshop, we were like, so what are you doing here? What do you want out of today? What brought you here today? And he was like, what I want is to unlearn everything that I've learned up until now, is to let that go, empty the cup, as Bruce Lee would say. You got to empty the cup before you can fill it up with something else. Doing that, I found was tough for me to say, okay, I want to stay open. And then I saw some things and had some realizations that made me have to face the hard truth that there's some things I need to change and do differently, which then caused me to have to let go of old beliefs that I had, right? Which, and this is the funny part, Adrian. It was almost like in fact, it was a grieving process that I went through, because the initial thing at the event was excitement. It was like, wow, this is cool. I've got like 11 a.m. day one. I could leave. There's just so much I can do. I'm excited. I can't wait to get this in my next 12-week plan. And I did my 12-week plan on the flight back from Noosa to Sydney. on the Saturday after the event, but and I had like unbelievable clarity. But then after that, the following week, I went through this grieving type process. It was weird of like, feeling sad about, oh, why did I do that for so long when I should have done this? And then there was like anger
Yeah,
and
right.
frustration, and then eventually like acceptance.
Yeah.
And I got through it.
So,
And that
yeah.
was, I reckon, it's just ego. Like ego is quite a powerful force, and
Yeah.
it's feelings like my ego was hurt.
Yeah.
And then but I went through it and realized, hey, like this is good, it was fantastic because it helped me see the process that my clients go through
Yeah.
in needing to make these changes, and it's not easy, right? If it was easy, then everyone would be successful.
That's right.
But once you understand it and you actually do it, doing it, going through it, as you would know, is very different to understanding something.
100%. So it's kind of like breaking up with the old self so the new self could come to the front.
Exactly. It is breaking up with the old side, and there's pain associated with
Yeah.
with that breakup, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you were thinking that you were doing everything right, only to come to the realization that, that there's a
No,
better way of doing things.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's
Interesting.
that's an ongoing process. So
Yeah.
recognizing that, and then again, like being disciplined enough to make the changes, knowing that it's going to hurt,
Yeah.
but then appreciating it, and then feeling gratitude. So it comes back full circle.
Awesome. Awesome. Mate, I like that. I like that. It's there's a lot of takeaways out of that for myself as well as anyone else who's watching here today. So
Yeah.
um, mindset plays such a pivotal role in everything we do, and it for me, I know it starts with my morning routines. It's
Mm,
setting yourself up for the day. Just makes everything else so much smoother moving forward.
mm, yeah. Um, yeah, and it's important to have those routines and processes that serve you well, and then reflect and review. This was fascinating, right? Like the 12-week reflection and review process that we take our builders through. So there's 4 12-week plans in a calendar year, and at the end of each 12-week period, reflect and review what went well, what didn't, and look at everything business and personal, lay the track again, and go. When I was at the coaches convention,
Yeah.
one of the guys I was having breakfast with, and bear in mind, these guys are all successful, right? Like 7 and 8 figure. I said to him, what's your reflection and review process? And he's like, once a year, whatever. And I was like, man, you should do a 12-week one. It's more
Mm.
intense. It puts you under a healthy amount of pressure, and you course correct and you get more done. And he was like, okay. So he wasn't doing a 12-week reflection and review. And within our process is, what do you want to focus your learnings on? So most of us listen to podcasts, audio books. That's a big part of it, right? Is taking in
Yep.
information, and all of our 7-figure club guys do the same. But ideally, you want to direct your learning. Like, what is the one thing, if you learned it, or a skill, if you developed it, would most benefit you and your business in the
The
next
big
12
lever
weeks?
pullers.
So maybe it's understanding marketing better, maybe understanding your financials, understanding how to do developments, or within developments, the finance agreement, so that you can do one, with your clients or family member, whatever it is. If you did that every 12 weeks, and I asked the coach, like, do you do that? Do you direct your learning? Because he's just consuming information sort of
Yeah.
generically. He was like, no, I've never thought of that. I was like, wow, you should consider it. So even the guys that are really good at what they do, there's gaps there. And again, me too. Like, this is where I went through that whole, breaking up with my
The
old self.
grieving process. Yeah.
The grieving process. Yeah. So there are plenty of examples I get for me too. But yeah, interesting.
So do you think, you mentioned it was a breakup process, because ego played a role in it. Do you think sometimes ego does prevent you from moving up that next rung?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, whether it's ego or, I don't know, is that what is like pig-headedness, right?
Mm.
Where, because often like it's the thing that you did that you need to let go of, that thing served you well. That thing worked. It worked. It got you
Yeah.
to where you are now. But what got you to where you are is not going to get you to where you want to go.
Want
So
to
you
go.
need to now let go of that thing and adopt the new thing.
Yeah.
So how do you let go of something that works so well now to then adopt something new? And then when you adopt something new, like anything new, you're going to be like a bit of a kook in the beginning, right? Like the first time you get on a bicycle or you learn to drive or get on a surfboard, it's difficult, man.
Yeah.
The 4 stages of learning. So now you're going to go from letting go of something that you're exceptionally good at, that everyone's like, wow, you do that really well, to doing something different that you're going to be the worst at it compared to everyone else in the class. There's that. So then, that's ego's not going to like that process at all, which keeps people then stuck. And then it's easy to justify why you shouldn't move to the new thing because, well, the other thing worked, and it does work, and you can prove that it works.
Yeah.
But it's not going to get you up to the next level. And then
going
up to that next level, that's the other thing because it's so uncomfortable. It's like a salmon jumping up, upstream. Getting up to that next ledge, it's probably not going to happen the first 2 or 3 attempts, and it's going to, again, pain associated with it. So. Yeah, but I think ego for sure plays a role. Fixed mindset.
Right. Yep.
Fixed mindset.
Awesome. Well, man, any other takeaways you got from that convention?
Man, endless. There's a lot, but I think we're running out of time. We might save them for another conversation.
Sounds good.
That it was great. It just re-emphasized the need to do it regularly, consistently. Put yourself in an environment where you're not the smartest person in the room. That's really important.
Yeah. Get amongst other people going the same direction as often as you can.
Yeah, and get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, 100%.
And appreciate it.
Perfect. Well, appreciate your time, mate, and can't wait for the next chat, eh?
Wise, man.
Good on you, Kurt. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.